Enshrouded's new Thralls of Twilight update introduces a truckload of new items to hunt for. Precious rewards from new foes, rare glowing plants that only appear during the night, farm animals for feathers on demand, powerful gems to empower your build, and most importantly, moths to cure hemotoxin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your man 4yam again, and today I'm gonna help you get all new resources fast, including important updated ones for crafting and cooking, show you what I think are the absolute best farm spots to get your hands on them, so let's go hunting. So, as you might have already noticed, there are a ton of new resources. I've included timestamps in the description to quickly find every single one of them, while I do recommend you to watch from beginning till the end, as I'm gonna share the best locations for each, efficient farming strategies that can save you a lot of time in the long run. Also, a quick thanks to King Games for making today's video possible. I really enjoyed making this guide, as hunting the new resources was quite fun and especially challenging, with the new foes and unique ways to acquire them. First off, we have critter parts. These come from, you guessed it, critters, which can be found inside the shrouds, little flying insects that basically drop this resource. If you visit higher level biomes, starting in the Nomad Highlands, you can also get your hands on critter glands when you take out these little fellas. While the highest level critter resource is the Carapace, which you can start finding in the Albanese summits. Or well, that's what the description says, as you can actually pick up all three resources at the same time from one specific critter, which I managed to find in the Kindle Waste area inside this specific shroud layer, which we're going to talk about a little bit later when we cover the Queen. Anyways, next up we have Shroud Liquid. Still very easy to get your hands on, starting in the beginner zones. Back in the day, when you chop down bigger mushroom trees, you got the exact same resource. Right now though, starting in the Revelwood area, you'll get Shroud Mushrooms instead. Shroud Wood is still super easy to get your hands on. Simply search for dead trees inside the shroud that don't look like mushrooms. Next up, we have a plant enemy which can drop different resources based on its location. If it's outside the shroud, these spitting plants will drop poison sacks, which can be used in various different crafting recipes. Simply check out the forest west of the ancient spire of Revelwood, near Diodwin and the carpentry camp, as this place is literally filled with these plants. The same type of enemy can be found inside the shroud, only a little bit east of the ancient spire of Revelwood at this little POI called Gloomsbury Keep. There are many more locations, while I think this is the easiest one to reach, where you can easily secure the Shroud Sack resource, but also the Brittle Shroud Petals, which can be found in pretty much all regions starting with Revelwood. Shroud Spores can be found easily by taking out common or weaker fell enemies inside the shroud on low levels. While starting in the Nomad Highlands, the exact same type of enemies will start dropping Shroud Particles. While you're hunting for these resources, be sure to keep an eye out for fell Thunderbroods, these slightly bigger foes which can drop Shroud Cores. If you're having trouble locating these though, you can always visit the Alchemist, combine the Spores and Liquid, which we've talked about earlier, to craft the exact same item. Next up, we have mint mushroom meat, which can be found primarily and easily in the Nomad Highlands. Simply glide over the shroud and you will spot a ton of green dots in the darkness. My absolute favorite farm spot for this would be a little bit southwest of the ancient spire Nomad Highlands. You want to search for the Umber Hollow, also northeast of the Pillars of Creation. Specifically search in the southwest right here, as this is where you can also find red corrupted mushrooms that can drop different resources, including the Ammonia Glands. So be sure to take out a couple of these to multi-farm with ease. While this is also an amazing place filled with POIs where you can start hunting for Corrosive Blood, dropped by fell lurkers starting in the Nomad Highlands as well. Seems like more than just one specific enemy can drop this resource. Then we have another new resource called the Brittle Shroud Flakes, which can easily be secured in the Kindle Waste Shroud. Focus on the orange mushroom trees. A nice place to easily get your hands on these would be to simply glide southwest of the ancient spire of Kindle Waste. Check out the Shroud Route as well as the Ridgeback Mine right here, where you can find an abundance of these plants. The Aerated Banshee Gel drops from, you guessed it, fell banshees. First found in the Springlands, but very difficult to locate right here. Instead, I recommend you to check out the Ancient Spire Low Meadows, as left of it, you'll be able to find a Ring of Rot, where you can already find a couple of these, and always guaranteed find 2 inside the Ancient Vault. If you have more locations, be sure to share them with the community, but that's where I was able to secure these fast. Also check out the Umber Hollow Elixir Well, as you will always find 2 floating above it. Shroud Adhesive drops from Shroud Flayers, first also found in the Nomad Highlands, and this is where I again can recommend you the area near the Umber Hollow. Make your way a little bit more south to it and stay underneath the plateaus right here, also inside the Shroud. This is where you can find a ton of the flayers or tentacles that are pretty easy to spot in the darkness because of their bright blue glow around them. While in the Kindle Waste, I can again recommend you to check out this area near the spire itself to find a lot of them. Another new material, corrupted boar tusks, can be found starting in the Revelwood biome by slaying fell boars, also commonly found inside the Shrouds in lower level areas. I think again one of the best spots to quickly find these would be east of the ancient spire of Revelwood. Just a little bit north and south of the Gloomsbury Keep, you'll find at least 2 packs of 3. Fell Hearts drop from Fell Sporehead, first found in the Kindle Waste biome, which is super easy to get your hands on as long as you make your way to this specific gem forge. North of the Kindle Waste spire, simply fly to this area and right in front of the forge itself you will find like 2 or 3 of these enemies. Simply visit the forge from time to time and get your hands on as many hearts as you like. Enshrouded Vulture Talons drop from giant enshrouded vultures, or bird-like dragons basically, you can find starting in the Kindle Waste biome. Again, near the Ancient Spire Kindle Waste, check out the POIs inside the Shroud, that's where you will find a lot of them. For Shroud Gelatin, you want to take out the Shroud Depth Dwellers, which are these massive lightning balloons floating in the sky, again very easy to find in the Umber Hollow, close to the Mayfair lot, but also the center of this region. Simply have your eyes on the skies and locate them easily, while you sometimes want to look in front of you as these places are also creeping with stalkers. They dash towards you with high speed, which can be tricky to deal with, but if you have the blink or teleport spell unlocked yourself, it's pretty easy to take them out. These guys drop the Petrified Shroud Stalker Shell. So once again near the Umber Hollow, but also in the Kindle Waste area, simply make your way, walk around in the Shroud. While in the Albanese Summits you can find one just a little bit left of the Gem Forge, another boss right here which we're gonna talk about in a second. But let's first talk about the scary new Fell Critter Queen boss, which can be found exclusively inside Shroud layers. My absolute favorite farm spot for this boss would be south of the Ancient Spire Kindle Waste. Right here you can find a Shroud layer west of the Elixir Well, northwest of Low Tide, which has an abundance of all the new resources. Be careful though, as this one spawns a ton of critters, which is gonna make it a pretty challenging dance for survival, but it's also super rewarding to basically keep this fight going as long as possible. As if you take out a ton of critters right here, you can actually secure both critter parts, glands and carapaces from the exact same small enemies. Still though, the giant critter skills are the biggest prize. I think I was able to find one of these queens earlier north of the Ancient Spire Revelwood inside this specific Shroud lair. Moving on to the Mist of a Fell Sickle Scythe, of course dropped from a Fell Sickle Scythe, which start appearing in the Kindle Waste area. But my absolute favorite farm spot for these would be the Gem Forge in the very center of this area, south of the Hollow Halls, as you can actually find one of these bosses right in front of the Gem Forge itself, also a Stalker on the other side. So a win if you want to secure both resources fast. Another nice way to farm this resource would be to simply spawn in the boss itself, which can be done by searching for these glowy blue bulbs inside the Shroud. I was able to locate 2 of these altars pretty close to each other. The first one right here, just a little bit southwest of the Gem Forge, and another one in the very northeastern Shroud, west of the Enshrouded Goat Farm. If you activate them with Shroud Nexus, you can spawn a boss and farm these resources repeatedly. You'll not always find a Sickle Scythe by doing this, sometimes also a Felled Monstrosity, which brings us to the next resource, Monstrous Ribs. You can already start picking these up in the Nomad Highlands, while I very much recommend you to do this specific farm, as it's gonna make it so much easier to farm the material. Then we also have Enshrouded Cyclops Eyes, found starting in the Albanese Summits, pretty challenging foes, but super easy to find if you've already made your way to the Shroud in the very northeastern part of this world. As west of the Night Sanctum right here, or east of the Balefire Stronghold Ironheart, this exact location comes with a guaranteed spawn of a fell Cyclops. It can always be found in the middle of the bridge, simply take it out and the rewards are yours. If you have more locations for these boss creatures, let us know in the comments down below. But 2 more resources for the fell Enshroud, the Enshrouded Ice, which can be found exclusively in the Albanese summits. I recommend you to check out the southern part of the Shroud lair, west of the Stronghold Ironheart. Right here you can find a huge forest with frozen mushrooms. Chop them down to get your hands on this resource. Shroud Nexus drops from all the endgame mini-bosses talked about earlier, but can also be crafted at the Alchemist by combining Shroud Particles, Adhesive and Mint Mushroom Meat. Now, this resource becomes pretty important to craft yourself huge magic chests, by the way. So that already covers the majority of resources. We have a couple more interesting ones, specifically gems. I'm already working on an ultimate gem guide with all their locations, but let me quickly give you a few to already make it easy to secure the rarest ones. Simply take out fell foes inside the Shroud layers, the commanders with sword and shield that can drop a gem of Cold Composure. If you check out the southern part of the Kindle Waste area, this is where you can find a little town called Scatterbone. Take out the Scavenger Berserkers to find the gem of Battle Mania. The gem of Focus Light can be found northeast of the Ancient Spire Nomad Highlands by taking out the exact same foe inside the Sun Temple. For the gem of Meteoric Impact, I think an amazing farm would be north of the passage to the Albanese Summits at the Vuka Ceremony Hill. For the gem of Bloodlust in the Albanese Summits, north of the Balefire Garrison Windward, you can find a little camp with also Scavenger Berserkers that drop this item. Probably the absolute best place to secure 3 gems at the same time, I kid you not, would be the Umber Hollow. Check it out before it gets nerfed, as seriously guys, this specific elixir well comes with 2 banshees you can farm for the Banshee Gel, but they can also drop 3 different gems, sometimes even at the same time, which makes it my absolute favorite farm spot for them. The Gem of Corruption, the Gem of Agility, as well as the Gem of Cold Composure. They are slightly lower level, but still a super interesting place to check out mid-game or to quickly secure them and upgrade in the end game. I already have an ultimate guide that covers everything you need to know about the Gem Forge and upgrading legendary weapons to take your build to the next level, which can be found in the top right of the screen. But long story short, you're gonna need Archaic Essence to upgrade your gems, which can be found in different levels. You wanna specifically search inside the Shroud layers. There are different ways how you can secure this resource, by either mining the glowing orange essence on the floor, harvesting the orange plants, or taking out the new laser eye enemies. When you hit them, Archaic Essence will drop on the floor as well. Archaic Essence level 5 can be found in the Springlands and Low Meadows areas. For level 13, you want to check out the Revelwood and Blackmire regions. Level 18 Archaic Essence inside the Nomad Highlands, 25 from the Kindle Waste, and of course the 33 material from the Albanese Summits. If you have an archer build like me, it's gonna be very important to have a steady supply of feathers to keep stocking up on those arrows. In general, most things that fly can drop this resource. My absolute favorite farm spots would be the Balefire Garrison Windward and Hidden Tomb entry. If you place an altar just in the middle, you can easily farm 8 dragon birds to get your hands on 5 feathers with each kill. While with the new Thralls of Twilight update, you can also get your hands on a farm animal that gives you an unlimited supply of these, which are called the round-billed sailor, a pretty big bird, but this is my absolute favorite spot to quickly secure them. North of the Ancient Spire Kindle Waste, this is where you will find a pretty big town called Ocean's Heart and East Lapis. Just a little bit above it, you can find like 6 of these birds spawning right next to each other. If you found more locations, let us know in the comments down below. Easily tame them with, of course, the bird food you can craft at the farmer, for which you're gonna need bell peppers, wheat grains, and corn cobs. Bell peppers, they simply spawn all over the Nomad Highlands, but for corn cobs, you want to make your way to the Ancient Spire Springlands. Quickly glide to the Harvest Homestead, that's where you will find a ton of them, while for the whole grains you want to once again make your way to the Umber Hollow and specifically check out the Bounty Barn east of it. That's where you can easily secure all the resources to make this delicious snack. Next up we have Fireflies. This one already introduced with the previous updates, but let me quickly go over them as they can super easily be secured northeast of the Ancient Spire Low Meadows. I highlighted this farm spot with a purple marker as boy oh boy, it's literally filled with lights in the darkness that you want to farm to get your hands on this resource. They only appear during the night, by the way. Same counts for the Midnight Lily. Said to be found in the Springlands. I found it super difficult to find it in the starter zone. So once again, check out this plateau as it's just the best farm spot for both resources. Now, probably the most annoying thing to craft in the game, Hemotoxin Antidote, for which you're gonna need both spider glands and especially moths found in the Revelwood at night. Boy oh boy, I searched for hours in this region and it's said to be found in the fields. Well, you don't really see a lot of fields, it's primarily forest right here, but still my favorite spot would be the Ancient Spire of Revelwood. Make your way to the Blue Goblet Tavern. Everything around it basically does feel a little bit like fields. And yeah, you can pick up quite a lot of moths during the night right here when you just keep walking around in circles. Leave a like and share your frustrations in the comments if you also had a tough time finding this resource. Anyways, we also need spider glands for the cure, which can be picked up starting in the abandoned hunter camp. Maybe even other camps in the early game, but you want to specifically search for bigger spiders. Since I'm already in the Albanese Summits region, the end game, what I like to do is make my way to this specific zone. Roth Steppe, which is found northwest of the Ancient Spire Albanese Summits. Right here I decided to place a flame shrine south of this cave passage. That's literally filled with spiders. On single player you can cheese farm it, take out the big spider every single time to secure a ton of spider glands. Another night plant are the Gloomberries, which are pretty easy to spot during the night obviously, but my favorite spot for these would be southeast of the Ancient Spire of Revelwood. This is actually a big forest where you can find tons of these, but again, near Dietwyn and the Blue Goblet Tavern, in this region you will also find many blue glowing plants. Calla Luna is another night plant which can be found exclusively in the Nomad Highlands. My favorite spot for these would be near the Pillars of Creation, a massive plateau where I always have this altar ready for farming. Simply hug the plateau's walls and you can easily find plenty of them resources right here. Glowing green-yellowish dots in the darkness. Same counts for the Shadow Bloom, exclusively found in the Kindle Waste area. Simply make your way to the spire and fly around it to easily secure this resource. I managed to find most of them right here, just a little bit south of the Flame Shrine, but also this one right here. Then we have two more plants found exclusively in the Albanese Summits. The first one is the Glimmer Gentian, very easy to spot during the night as it's a very bright glowing plant with a purple color that you can easily find around the Shroud Mountains basically. Once again, a little bit northeast of the Balefire Garrison Windward. This is where you want to be. Very nice spot while you just want to glide around this canyon basically to secure a ton of the resource. Same counts for the Stapelia Starflower, also found at similar locations. This one, however, comes with a grey whitish glow, which is a little bit more subtle. All these plants are pretty important to make yourself some delicious snacks. The Shadow Bloom wrap comes with Constitution and Shroud Protection, Calla Luna soup with Dexterity and Shroud Protection, Glimmer Gentian tea with Stamina Recharge and 5 minutes Shroud Protection. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, all the essential resources, both new and important with the latest updates. If you enjoyed the content, it would mean the world to me if you can spare 1 second of your time, hit that like button, and of course help out the community by sharing your favorite farm spots in the comments down below. It helps the algorithm and especially other people find this guide easier. Right now though, I want to wish you an amazing day. There's plenty more content on the channel. I'll check you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace.